You've watched them multiply. An urgent care clinic in every strip mall, sometimes 2 within a mile. Fast, convenient, open late. From the sidewalk, it looks like a license to print money. High traffic, simple visits, cash and insurance rolling in. So let's ask the operator's question. If you had the money, should you open one? Could you actually turn a profit? The honest answer is more interesting than the storefront suggests, because urgent care is one of the clearest examples in healthcare of a business that's easy to start, genuinely useful, and brutally hard to make pay. First, why does urgent care exist at all? It sits in a gap the rest of the system left wide open. Your primary care doctor can't see you for 3 weeks and is closed evenings and weekends. The emergency room is open, but it's built and priced for true emergencies. Urgent care slots right in between. Walk in without an appointment, nights and weekends, for the stuff that's urgent but not life-threatening. A sprained ankle, strep throat, a cut that needs stitches, the flu. And it does it for a fraction of what the ER charges. That price gap is the entire reason the industry exists, and it's a big one. So let's answer it like an operator. You want to open an urgent care. What do the numbers actually look like? We'll walk the real unit economics, what it costs to open the doors, what you earn per patient, how many patients a day you need just to break even, and why a business this popular still defeated some very deep-pocketed owners. One note before we start, this is a business breakdown, not financial or investment advice. Let's open the books. Start with the number that built the whole industry. For a comparable low-level complaint, the average emergency room visit ran about $2,256. The same kind of visit at an urgent care, around $220. That's roughly a 10-to-1 gap. Insurers love that math, employers love it, and patients love not sitting in an ER waiting room for 6 hours. That enormous savings is why everyone, insurers, hospitals, investors, wants urgent care to exist. But here's the catch that trips up first-time owners. The thing that's great for the system is not automatically great for your clinic's bank account. Because before you see a single patient, you have to build the thing, and that bill is bigger and blurrier than the franchise brochures admit. How much to open one? The honest answer is a wide range, and the width is the warning. Firms that sell urgent care startup services quote anywhere from about $850,000 to over $1.5 million per location. Build-out, imaging, equipment, and launch. A leaner independent build can come in closer to $400,000. The single biggest thing that sinks new owners isn't the construction, though. It's underfunding the part nobody photographs. Working capital. You need enough cash to cover many months of rent and payroll while the clinic slowly ramps up, often well over a year, before it pays for itself. Budget for the build-out, but not for that long dry ramp. And you're the owner who doesn't make it. Now the money coming in. On average, an urgent care net's about $132 per visit. Not the sticker price, the amount that actually lands after the insurer pays its negotiated rate. And notice who sets that number. Not you. It's fixed by your contracts with insurers, the same negotiated rate machinery from our network episode. You can't simply charge more, so if you can't move the price per visit, your entire business comes down to one lever you can control: how many visits you can put through the door each day. Here is the entire business on one card. Because your costs, rent, staff, equipment, are mostly fixed, profitability is almost purely a volume game. For a typical clinic, below roughly 24 visits a day, it loses money. Around 35 or more, it turns a comfortable profit. The national average sits around 30 a day. Now, an average alone can't tell you how many clinics live near the edge. But these thresholds aren't a law of physics anyway. They slide with your rent, your wages, and your payer mix. A clinic with cheap rent and strong contracts profits sooner, while one loaded with low reimbursement patients can bleed even at 40 a day. Your rent doesn't shrink on a slow Tuesday. Volume and the costs stacked around it is the whole game. So where does the money go? Overwhelmingly to people. Labor eats around 85% of an urgent care's operating costs, and the biggest single line is provider pay. That one fact quietly shapes the whole model. To make the math work at $132 a visit, most urgent cares are staffed not by a physician at every hour, but by a nurse practitioner or a physician assistant with a doctor supervising, often remotely. It's not a knock on the care, it's the only way the spreadsheet closes. When you visit an urgent care, the odds you see an MD in the room are lower than you'd guess. And the pressure shows up as a stopwatch. When the waiting room fills, a flu season evening, the after-work rush, a single provider often has to clear around 4 patients an hour just to keep the line from backing up. That peak throughput is the real reason an urgent care visit can feel quick to the point of brisk. When it's busy, every extra minute with one patient is another patient who walks out unseen. It's the same operations lesson from the rest of this series. In a fixed-cost, fixed-price business, speed isn't rudeness, it's survival. Every consultant tells new owners to diversify into occupational medicine. The drug screens, physicals, and injury visits that employers pay for. It sounds like free money, and for big chains with a sales team, it can smooth out the slow seasons. But here's the part the pitch skips. A routine OCMED visit often pays less than half of a standard patient visit. Only true workers' comp injuries pay a premium, so OCMED isn't a shortcut to profit for a single clinic. It's a lower margin volume play that mostly rewards scale. The easy add-on is quietly one of the thinner margin things you can do. Then there's the calendar, and in flu-heavy markets it's merciless. Urgent care can be a wildly seasonal business. In December, at the peak of cold and flu season, visit volume in those markets can run about 25% above baseline. By midsummer, it can sit around 14% below. That's a huge swing on a business already living near its break-even line. You staff, sign a lease, and carry fixed costs all 12 months. But you earn a disproportionate share of your money in a few cold ones. Open in spring with a long dry summer ahead of flu season, and the cushion can be gone before the busy months arrive. If you think deep pockets solve all this, consider the cautionary tale. Walmart, a company that has crushed the unit economics of nearly every retail category on Earth, opened 51 health centers, then in 2024 closed every single one, citing a challenging reimbursement environment and rising costs, barely a month after announcing plans for 22 more. One fair caveat: Walmart's were broader primary care centers, not pure urgent cares, so it's not a perfect comparison, but they lived under the same reimbursement pressure and the same fixed cost math. And if the world's most ruthless retailer, with unlimited capital, a trusted brand and built-in foot traffic, still couldn't make retail clinic economics pay, that tells you the ground here is harder than the storefront makes it look. So, can you make money opening an urgent care? Yes, plenty of people do, but only if you clear that daily volume bar, and whether you clear it is decided mostly by things you set on day one. A location with enough well-insured foot traffic, and a payer mix that isn't dominated by low reimbursement. You have to fund the long ramp without flinching. And you're now walking into a crowded market. By industry counts, nearly a fifth of centers are private equity-backed, and about 4 in 10 are hospital-affiliated. And in 2025, a major health system executive said almost every major market is now saturated. It's a real business. It's just not the easy one the storefront makes it look like. The doors are easy to open, keeping 35 patients a day walking through them every day for years. That's the whole job. So the next time an urgent care opens in your neighborhood, you'll see it the way an operator does. A genuinely useful business balanced on a razor's edge of daily volume, fixed costs, and a price it doesn't control. Next time, we walk into the biggest building in the whole system, the hospital, and answer the question that runs underneath everything. How does a hospital actually make money when it loses money on so many of its patients? For more on how the system really works, visit shanewelter.com. I'll see you in the next one.